We got the requirements documents done within 2 weeks. Everyone was happy. This person started mentoring all the other people within the team, including me. Amazing. Game changer. And I'm so glad this person came into, all of our lives. Hey everyone, it's Opa here for another video where I talk about health, wealth, and happiness. So today's video is all about recruitment and hiring the right people. If you're a recruiter, if you're a hiring manager, if you need people to come onto your team, this video is for you. So I'm sure you've all had the privilege or not so privilege of working with a co-worker who just didn't cut it. They didn't fit in from a team perspective, cultural, or they just couldn't do the work. But if you ever looked at their CV, their resume, or their LinkedIn profile, it was schmick, right? They had all the credentials, all the bells and whistles, all the work experience, and they just looked, perfect for the role. But when they come into the team, they unfortunately couldn't perform because they couldn't fit culturally. They were trying to play political games. They didn't have the people skills, whatever it may be. They just weren't cut out for the job. But again, when you look at their credentials, their work history and whatnot, it looks brilliant. I'm sure you think back into your work history. I'm sure there's one or two colleagues who fits this bill perfectly. It's this bill. How do you get over this? How do you make sure that this doesn't happen to your organization? And particularly if you're a recruiter, as I said, if you're a hiring manager, this is the approach that I would take. I know this is not always the way of doing things, but if you can hire based on a recommendation from a direct contact, even if it's a degree of separation away, at least if you got that referral of going, hey, do you know a tester? Do you know a forklift driver? Do you know a whatever? And if you can get that recommendation, and this person who's recommending you has basically put their reputation on the line going, hey, my mate so-and-so, I used to work with him, he's awesome, or she's awesome because they do this, that, and the other, and they'll be a cultural fit, then it's worthwhile progressing to the next stage. And I know this isn't always available to everyone because you've got timelines to meet, and sometimes you just have to make a decision based on the availabilities and who's got the best rates or whatever. But if you can take this approach rather than just looking at the CV or the LinkedIn profile, I really think this is the best way. I mean, I'll give you I'm sure you can think of a example from your past work history where you've had a colleague that you've worked with that fits this bill perfectly. But let me just give you an example, because I can, I suppose. So when I first started my BA career, business analyst career, one of the bigger projects that I was put onto, there was a lead on the project. This guy, again, he ticked all the boxes from a credential perspective. But when it comes to doing the work, he could not deliver. He could not deliver to the point that he had a good team around him. I'm not saying I was one of them because I was one of the juniors there, but he had a couple of other people that were really good, and they just he couldn't get them to perform what was required. And what was required was a requirements document to basically go out to tender. That just couldn't happen because this guy was just obsessed with just a little minute detail that didn't make all the difference. It got to the point where the project manager and the portfolio manager just would go, hey, I'm not going to say his name, hey, so-and-so, we need the requirements document now. Like now. What are you talking about? We don't have weeks and weeks. We've already passed the deadline. Just get us something. So he went to work, and each requirement was a paragraph long. And for those who have worked in the project space, generally requirements are not supposed to be a paragraph long. Okay, they're supposed to be minute enough, succinct enough, that are testable, isolated requirements. Okay, they're supposed to stand on their own 2 feet. and he just put too much detail because his mind works in a very detailed manner. And again, from a book smart perspective, he ticks all the boxes. Practicality wise, it was just game over. I remember the days that where we would just hang around until 7 p.m. being, I don't know what we were doing. It was just completely waste of time and we weren't achieving anything. Eventually they got rid of him. They go, geez, this is not working. Pulled him out of there, got this other lady to come in, and everyone was leaving work at 4 p.m. We got the requirements documents done within 2 weeks. Everyone was happy. This person started mentoring all the other people within the team, including me. Amazing. Game changer. And I'm so glad this person came into, all of our lives, because had it not been for this person, there was a good chance I would have gone down a completely different career path. I mean, that's how miserable life was working under the other guru. Yeah, and again, I'm sure you've all been in this position, and sometimes it's not you. It is unfortunately the person that you're working with. I mean, sometimes it is you. I'm going to be frank. Sometimes it is you, and you need to grow as a person, build your skill set, and develop. But sometimes it's not, and it's hard to know what's what when you don't have the experience. Maybe it's worthwhile. This is when I guess mentors come in handy, because that way they can actually tell you, hey, you got some growing to do, and your line manager has the right to give you that feedback. So that's probably the best way. Anyway, I'll wrap this up, because this is all about recruiting, hiring the right people, get references, and do it that way as opposed to looking at the CV. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. Bye.